Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at another new vehicle that is coming to the game in update 2.29. This is the Marat. The Marat is a new premium that's coming in for the Soviets and is coming in with the introduction of rank 6 blue water. So this is your opportunity to basically buy into the higher echelon of the tech tree if you want to. Remember, if you want to buy any of these pre-order packs, make sure to use my partner code so you can get a discount and also support the channel at the same time. The Marat will be able to efficiently research the whole of the blue order tech tree for the USSR, meaning that you can get to the Kronstadt and also the Parisia Communa at the same time. The Marat is a Sevastopol class, which is exactly the same as the Poltava that you can see here. The difference is the Marat is actually a upgraded or modified version of it, which brings it up to more Second World War standards instead of First World War, where it is from. The Marat has a lot of gun additions to make it a little bit more favorable to play, because it has a lot more AA defense than others. Starting off though with the main cannons, this thing has 4 triple mounted 12-inch cannons. You can see the 4 sets here, 2 in the center, 2 on the extremities, and because of the way that they're set up, you can get a full broadside on, which is super useful for the vehicle. It also has 14 single-mounted 120s. All of these layer along the ship on both sides, so 7 on each side. You have 6 76mm, 2 dual 76mm, and then also 6 37s and 13 12.7mm Dishkas. You can see the good old 76s in here, and then also more in the center area. You have some of the other guns which are kind of set around the place. You can see them here, the 37s a little bit higher up than other areas. Same with here as well. So it's got good AA coverage compared to its sister ship. It also has nearly 1,300 crew, so nice survivability. And also, it's pretty low in the water, so actually hitting it can be a lot harder to do compared to other machines. It doesn't have as much armor as other machines though, only 225mm on the belt and then 125 above it. The turrets themselves, they have 203mm all around, and then on the back of the turrets, surprisingly, they have 305mm of armor. Never really understood why that's the case. I'm sure somebody will let me know at some point. When you have a look at the bridge is pretty well armored too. Same with the other areas, and the ammo elevators, which are absolutely tiny because of how low this vehicle is compared to many, is only 150mm. So if you can actually sneak some shells in there, you can annihilate it pretty quickly. Has some pretty beefy magazines, but the magazines are covered in fuel tanks, and as I said, it's super low to the water, so hitting this thing can be a lot harder to do. Has 2 massive smoke funnels on it, which they also have engines attached to them, which is just kind of nuts. And of course it has the transmissions as well, making up the standard stuff you see on these vehicles. With this amount of firepower on the 12-inch guns, you can see also they have 2.2 rounds per minute fire rate. This is the same as the American 12-inch guns. So you'll be sat around for, what, 25 seconds, something similar to that, waiting for them to fire. That's all good. That's fine. And then you have the AA support to make sure that planes don't annihilate you. You also have on it a bunch of different fire directors, but unfortunately they don't actually seem to be modeled yet. So instead you just have the rangefinder, which is slightly weaker than other vehicles. When it comes to sorting out the main guns, only 85% measure accuracy, which sucks, and also 24 seconds calculation time with 14 seconds update time. There's many machines with a lot better than that on the vehicle, or just in the game, which just sucks. It also does have some other things on top here, but I think they're just rangefinders, nothing too crazy. And then yeah, they just seem to be bugged out right now, which kind of sucks for it. And here are the dual 76s back here. So on a broadside, this vehicle has a lot of damage. On the other areas, if it's like marching forward, it doesn't really have a lot that it can do. It is just stuck in a situation where it only has 1 set of turrets that are able to fire. The 12-inch guns have access to HE, nearly 50 kilos of explosive mass in them, and also 71 millimeters of penetration. You also have APC-BC, which has nearly 13 kilos of explosive mass with very good penetration on them as well, meaning that you can do a ton of damage to other ships and just kind of annihilate them. Then SAPC-BC with 55 kilos of explosive mass and just about 2/3 of the penetration of the standard AP, so you can really rock out with these rounds if you can penetrate a target. And then you have another HE, which once again has 52 kilos of explosive mass, 55 kilos of explosive mass, which is way higher than the standard HE, and 1 millimeter more pen, which is quite fun. It has way higher muzzle velocity as well, so this one is the round just to kind of have a bit of fun with. I feel like the AP or the SAP-BC is the one to go for, though, for the vehicle. I would probably personally go for the AP. The extra penetration is super nice and kind of, to go forward with. It does have torpedoes, but they're World War I torpedoes, so they don't really work very well. And also, I believe the torpedo tubes are stationary, so you can't really angle them either. It's kind of a last-ditch effort to be able to do something to somebody. Then the 120 millimeters, they have access to HE and also SAP. The SAP does actually have a decent amount of explosive mass in it. It actually has more than the standard HE, so you can get more explosive mass plus more penetration, so you might as well go for that over the other one. Even with the improved rangefinder, though, the guns are not the best, and hopefully that can be overlooked by people and they can find accuracy in other ways. It does have a lot of different skins. You do also get this special pre-order camouflage that exists that makes it look like a house, but unfortunately I can't show it to you on the dev server. I wish I could, but it's just not available right now. But yeah, they basically painted it like a house to make it blend in during the siege of Leningrad, to try and make sure that people don't shoot it, and that, I suppose it probably classed as a kind of pseudo-war crime kind of thing, but who knows. That's for debates that don't include me. The secondaries are nice to have. I've always liked the Soviet secondaries on naval machines. They usually have a slightly lower fire rate but do pack a higher punch, so it's more designed for people who have that one punch capability, and with a vehicle like this it definitely has that as well with its main cannons. A lot of people will like this thing mainly because of its survivability, and also because of its survivability, and also just the amount of main guns that it has at its disposal and the amount of damage that it will be able to do with its guns when you accurately fire them, which is not something that I do very well. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Juan the Panda, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Bareen, Peter Grayling, Alan Hacker, Sem Alslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R., and also Lafouche for supporting the channel.